Chika had always been different, not in the way people celebrated, but in the way that set her apart, quietly, invisibly, painfully. From a very young age, she had a mind sharper than most of her peers. She could memorize entire pages after one reading, solve puzzles with ease, and even invent games that her classmates secretly admired, but never gave her credit for. Teachers praised her often, calling her a prodigy, but at home, the word special never quite reached her ears. Her father, Mr. Okeke, adored her brilliance. A tall, lean Igbo man with kind eyes, he would beam with pride at her report card, patting her on the head while calling her my shining star. But his affection was a quiet thing, drowned out by the louder dynamics of their household. Her mother, Mrs. Okeke, loved her in her own way, but she was sharp-featured, proud, and quick to scold, always dressed in bold Ankara prints and heavy gold jewelry. She called the image of a commanding matriarch. She doted on Obinna, her confident first son, and pampered Ifeoma, her delicate youngest daughter. But with Chika, she seemed harsher, more impatient, her love wrapped in criticism. Obinna was broad-shouldered and athletic, with the kind of easy charm that made people listen when he spoke. He knew he was the pride of the family, and often reminded everyone of it. Ifeoma, by contrast, was a petite, soft-featured with a doll-like beauty that everyone adored. She had a playful way of mocking Chika's seriousness, earning laughter from the room and leaving Chika quietly wounded. So it was easy for Chika to become invisible, and yet she was unforgettable to anyone who truly looked. She was a very beautiful Igbo girl with an oval-shaped face and sun-kissed brown skin that glowed as though it carried light within it. Her almond-shaped eyes were deep and searching, framed by lashes that curled naturally. Her lips were full and pink, the kind of lips people noticed even when she wasn't speaking. Chika was slim, graceful, with the soft curves in all the right places, the kind of figure that seemed born to wear fashion. Clothes never simply sat on her, they adored her. She wore long Brazilian human hair, sometimes bone straight, sometimes tied in soft waves. Her collection of wigs was her guilty pleasure. Curly afro wigs, dyed umbers, sleek shoulder-length bobs, each one chosen with a stylist's eye. Fashion was her secret language. Even when the world overlooked her, she dressed as though she mattered. Wide-legged trousers paired with fitted blouses, vibrant Ankara jackets layered over minimalist dresses, carefully chosen accessories that transformed the simplest outfits into statements. She wasn't loud, but her presence was unforgettable, a quiet elegance that lingered. But at home, her beauty and intelligence were overshadowed by favoritism and constant ridicule. Obinna teased her about being the robot who only knows books. Ifeoma copied her serious expression until everyone laughed. Even her mother scolded her endlessly. Why can't you be more lively? Why are you always reading? So Chika built her escape. She created a vast library on her phone, novels, essays, fashion magazines from Paris, New York, and Milan. She lived in those stories where women like her were celebrated, where their differences were strengths. By the time she graduated, Chika had grown into a reserved but talented young woman. She found work as a junior executive assistant at a Lagos publishing house. The title looked impressive, but reality was harsh. Her manager, a balding man who always hid behind delegation, piled endless work on her. Senior editors, stylish but lazy, discovered her speed and skill and quickly began to exploit her. Even her younger co-workers, who spent more time gossiping in the break room than working, learned they could slide their task onto her desk. And she let them because Chika was kind, because Chika couldn't say no. Her days blurred into hours. She proofread manuscripts, typed reports, edited documents, scheduled meetings, designed slides, and answered emails, often all in the same day. While others lingered over lunch, she skipped meals entirely, too focused on finishing everyone's work. And yet, when praise came, it was never hers. At first, she told herself this was temporary, the hard work would be noticed eventually. But as the years passed, nothing changed. She became invisible again, just as she had been at home. One Thursday, everything changed. A senior editor, who had spent the day gossiping in the staff lounge, tossed a thick manuscript onto Chika's desk. Polish this before tomorrow. You are the fastest. Chika stayed behind, eyes burning, finishing the edits long past midnight. The next day, the editor submitted it under her own name. The CEO praised her in front of everyone. Something broke inside Chika. Later that afternoon, her manager handed her another pile of work. You are reliable, Chika. You handle this. Reliable? The word cut deeper than any insult. She stood up slowly. Her hands trembled, but her voice was steady. I quit. The office went silent. No one believed her at first, but when she packed her bag and placed her badge on the desk, they realized she meant it. Without looking back, Chika walked out. For the first time in her life, she chose herself. That evening, the humid Lagos air pressed around her as she walked through Lekki Phase 1. Her mind buzzed with fear and relief. What had she done? What would she do now? Lost in thoughts, she collided with someone at a busy corner. Her phone nearly slipped. Papers scattered. "Oh my goodness," the woman said, smiling instead of frowning. "I love your outfit." Chika blinked. That morning, she had worn a crisp white blouse tucked into high-waist wide-leg trousers, paired with vintage leather sandals and bold wooden earrings. To her, it was instinct. To this stranger, it was brilliant. "You styled it yourself?" the woman asked. "Yes," Chika replied cautiously. The woman handed her a sleek business card. She was elegant, dark-skinned, dressed in a tailored suit with bold accessories. Her presence was magnetic. "I'm Damilola," she said. "I recruit for Elan Lagos, one of the biggest fashion houses in Nigeria. We are always looking for fresh stylists. You have an eye. Call me." And just like that, Chika's world shifted. That night, instead of scrolling through books to escape, she built a portfolio, outfits she had photographed, mood boards she had curated, sketches she had hidden away. Her phone, once her refuge, had become her doorway. Weeks later, she stood in the glass office of Ella Lagos. Damilola introduced her to the creative director. They gave her a test immediately. "Here's a rack of clothes. Style this model." Chika's hand shook at first, but as she began, instinct took over her. She mixed bold prints with soft neutrals, layered textures, added unexpected accessories. When the model stepped out, the room went silent. "She's brilliant," the creative director whispered, and from that moment, Chika's life transformed. She became a stylist, at first an assistant, but her natural eye and relentless work ethic pushed her forward. Soon, her work appeared on magazine covers, on celebrities, on international runways. The girl who had once been invisible was now seen everywhere, and for the first time in her life, Chika stepped fully out of the shadows and into her own light.